Hello, hello. So I made another Celestials hero, and this time it's a member of the main cast. So let's get into it. Okay, so the hero in question that I made today is called Noah Cryalis. So he's basically a member of the main cast from the Celestials episodes, which I talked about previously, and he's a magic type hero, and he's basically like the leader of the magic group in the hero force. And so his whole thing is that he has this magic crystal that allows him to do spells and all kinds of like magical attacks. And it's very hard to give concrete examples of like what certain attacks he would do during a battle, because there's just a very big range of variety of what he could do. So it would apply more like in specific in the moment. But to give some examples, he would maybe be able to like make stuff out of his magical crystal and like do cool spells with it and like transform things. So maybe he could make crystal brass knuckles, crystal Wolverine claws. Maybe he could like blow on his arm and make it like get stronger and bigger like Popeye. Maybe he could like phase through someone or like teleport really quickly. He could maybe give himself like a super jump, or he could. Another fun idea I had was maybe if someone was like cornered, he could basically summon a bunch of like how do you say it, square crystals, and he could make them fall on the ground and then constantly get beaten up by the crystals that are all pushing down, that are all pushing upwards. So he basically gets smacked across the face with multiple crystals while he's falling on the ground. Another fun idea I had was, what if maybe he can summon like ghost hands, and this would all be in the same color scheme of the crystal, and the ghost hands would be able to basically attack other criminals and stuff. So there's already a lot of cool ideas you can have for this guy, for what he could do. Another example I had was maybe he could jump up like from the sky, and he could make the whole sky like in an area turn into like this crystallized material, and then he could make it rain like shards of crystals. So pretty cool, and you can tell the crystal is kind of supposed to look a bit like ice, but it's more like this nice blue like diamond color. Not necessarily like ice, and it looks very pretty, so I really like this design. And you could imagine he could do a lot of cool stuff with it. Oh yeah, real quick, go to the link in the description to support me on Patreon. Thanks, man. So, for his background, he's basically a member of a special family. Well, not really that special, but I'll explain. So the crystal that he has is called the Cryalis crystal. And so his last name is literally Cryalis. So there's Noah Cryalis guy. He's basically part of like this family that found this magical crystal many generations ago, and so they passed it down from family member to family member because it gave them magical properties and stuff. And you can tell Noah is sort of like, he has like white hair and blue glowing eyes, because he's kind of like this is one of the side effects of the crystal, because he gets like powered up by it. And this crystal was obviously passed down from his dad to him, and since the hero force exists now, he decided to join it and use the crystal for his attacks and stuff, to basically become like a hero. And so it worked out very well, because he mastered the art of using his spells and stuff, and he basically became leader of the magic category of like the heroes. And so he also is like I said, a member of the main cast, because the main cast for the Celestials episodes are basically a bunch of the leaders, but not all of them. And I don't think I have much else to explain for his backstory, except for the fact that, like I said, he just masters it and becomes very good at it, and he's like this very well-respected person within the community. And then maybe we'll go over his design real quick. So, Noah over here, you can tell he kind of looks like Gojo, but he was never meant to look like Gojo, because he was just kind of an idea I had for character design. And you can clearly tell that he's not just supposed to be some ripoff. This was just an idea that I had that just happened to kind of look like him with the same colors. But this is supposed to be an original character. So you can see he has like the cool white hair, then he has like the eyes that glow in the same color as his crystal. Then he has a little piece of the crystal as a part of his necklace. He wears a pretty simple black t-shirt. Then he has some scars on his arms and one under his eye, which I actually I forgot to draw the scars on his arm in the recording, but you'll see them afterwards on the arms. And then he... what else does he have? Obviously, he has the Cryalis crystal in his hands. As you can see, it's like the pretty blue crystal. And again, I really like how it looks because it just looks very nice, I think. Then he kind of has like these sand-colored Adidas jogging pants or whatever you want to call it. And then he also has some like nice clean white, probably also like Adidas shoes or something. They're not necessarily supposed to be branded, but you can definitely see the inspiration. And I'm thinking right now this recording is pretty short, so maybe there's some other things I might want to add. So you can really use your imagination, like I said. He can do a lot of crazy things with the crystal, but it's a bit hard to give examples right now. But I also think an interesting idea would be the same way Weapon Master, aka Rico, he fused the crystal to the hero crystal to his chest. To use it to incorporate it in his technology. So the hero crystal, if you remember, to teleport around and stuff for the heroes to solve crimes. I think it'd be pretty cool if his hero crystal kind of like so Noah's crystal, if it kind of like bonded with the Cryalis crystal, and so maybe instead of a hero crystal, he would just use the Cryalis crystal, and then it could turn like into the green color of the Hero Force crystal, or maybe it would just stay blue whenever he uses it. So that would be pretty interesting to incorporate. I'm also thinking he could like I said, he could transform a lot of things with the crystal, and the crystal itself, maybe he could shatter it up into tiny pieces, and he could reform it again. He could magically regrow pieces of the crystal. He could like weaponize it. He could like turn it into different shapes. He can like summon it. It can appear out of nowhere. So I think that's pretty cool. And I don't think I have too much else to say about this character, because he's pretty simple to explain. That's why this video is also going to be pretty short compared to the usual. And yeah, I just think this guy would be a really interesting addition to the main cast. That's why I put him in there. And I think it would be pretty funny to have him teaching spells to other people, because in the logic of like Celestials, you don't necessarily always need magic to perform magic. Because if you think about it like from a biblical perspective, you wouldn't necessarily need to have magical properties to perform magic, as long as you would like maybe pray to God or something to perform a spell. Maybe he would help you with that. So I think that would be pretty cool, and I feel like he would basically teach some sick moves to Inferno and the rest of the squad, and they would incorporate it every now and then. And I feel like a pretty cool thing would be, if you remember. Because I said he looks like Gojo. If you remember Jujutsu Kaisen, the anime, they have like the domain expansions. If I remember correctly, that was basically like the magical thing where you like clap your hands or something, not cheeks, your hands, and then you basically like entrap someone in like a personal like magical little how do you say it, pocket dimension, if I'm correct. And then you basically get to use like special moves in there or something. So I think that's a pretty cool idea, and maybe I would incorporate it with his kit. And I feel like he would teach how to do like a domain expansion, or whatever you want to call our version of the move. So like creating pocket dimensions and like having your own cool like special attacks in there. I feel like he would teach that to some of the other characters, and he would teach some magical moves, especially to Inferno, because Inferno is so old. He would definitely have learned some magic alongst the years. Among the years, and I feel like he would teach him how to do like a domain expansion or whatever you want to call it. And this would be pretty cool, because I think Inferno's whatever you want to call it, the magical move, maybe I would need a different name than just straight up ripping the name domain expansion from the anime. But yeah, whatever. I think it would be pretty cool because I think Inferno would be able to like create a pocket dimension with like a magical spell as well, and then he could basically make like a straight path that's like surrounded in fire for his enemy, so he can only run in one direction. And then Inferno would be like up in the sky, and everything would kind of look like hell, like you'd see burning fire everywhere. And then Inferno would be up in the sky, like super powered with fire, and he would basically have like this ginormous sword. Not a ginormous peanut, no. A ginormous sword, and so he would basically start hacking downwards, so the sword would start going downwards to the person that is running away, and so they would only be able to go in a straight line, which so eventually they would get sliced in two, and they would like basically melt away like butter because the sword is on fire as well. So just a little thing I thought was pretty cool is if this guy could teach spells to other characters. Now, he wouldn't do this with everyone, because if everyone had magical spells, all of a sudden things would get very overpowered, I think. But maybe here and there someone would learn something new from him. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool actually. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about this character for now, so yeah. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did, and do I have anything else to say? By the way, don't worry. I'll make some more Celestials episodes videos sooner or later. But I just felt like making another character and making the video about that. But don't worry, the episodes will be back every now and then. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I hope you liked the video as much as I did, and see you in the next one. Bye.